everybody, it's Tessa here from Meyer Hatchery. Today my husband and I are going to be building the broody box to keep our broody hens safe while they're raising their chicks. So the first steps involve us cutting out the walls, the side door, and the top of this broody box, which can be a loud process. So make sure you have your glasses to keep your eyes safe and gloves so that you're not touching that bare wood. So first we measure the cut, the side, the bottom, the top, and then we're gonna start to assemble. One piece done, now time for the next piece. So since we have two pieces already, I'm gonna measure and then let my husband make those cuts because he is much better at it than I am. So we are making multiple measurements on here. We wanna make sure it lines up exactly right. I don't want any small little cracks that a predator might be able to get into. So it's always best, measure twice, cut once. Time for the first part of assembly. So we are pre-drilling some holes in the bottom, and then we're going to be using the power drill to put some screws in that will hold this together. We did 3 alongside the wall. You could also use a wood glue in here if you feel like you're not getting a tight enough joint there, if you have any areas where you can see through, but when you pre-drill and then put the screws in, usually it's a very tight fit. Now for these side walls, instead of measuring and then putting them in place, we actually cut the boards and then used the measurements from the rest of the box to finish our cuts. That way we know for sure that everything is even, especially since we maybe weren't as specific in the beginning as we should have been. So in this case, now we have pieces that perfectly fit on either side, and we can make a mark on it and then just cut off the tops of those and then drill those into place. Peekaboo, a little bird came to join us. All right, little Daisy here is gonna help us with these final measurements. So these parts of the brooder are actually going to be going inside. This broody box brooder has a space for the hen to be with her chicks. It also has an area for a dust bath, and it has a separate area for their food and water. So we're gonna cut these pieces out to make sure that they'll fit inside, and then we're gonna build the accordion doors that go across to the front of her little personal space that she stays in with her babies. Here's a good shot of these accordion doors. So in the part where the broody mom stays with her babies while they're hatching or while she's waiting for them to hatch, it has an accordion door that has a hinge on the middle, and it also has a hinge on the side. So that accordion door will be put in, and it will also have a lock so that it can keep her safe from predators, or also make it so that she can't leave her eggs. I don't know about you, but I've had a few broodies that get halfway through the process and then they decide they're bored. In this case, they can't do that. They're stuck with their babies, which is what we want them to do. So let's get this built and installed. So inside here, you can see we have it sectioned off into 3 different places now. The front part is for the food and the water. The right-hand side is where the broody and her babies will be. And then the left-hand side is where a dust bath area will be. Now we're putting all of these components in place, and then the accordion door will go in. It has a hinge that attaches it to the wall, and the accordion opens outwards towards the feed area so that the broody mom can push her way out if she needs to, if it is not locked, but it will stay in place other than that. The next thing that we're gonna do is I am measuring to cut some holes in the front of our broody box. These will not only allow for ventilation and airflow, but it's also going to give that broody mom and her babies an opportunity to both see and hear their friends out in the flock so that they're not confused when they get out into the world. It also gives us a nice place to be able to see those babies. So I'm gonna get those measured out. Be sure to measure twice, cut once, because this one is a little more tricky. You have to measure out a big space and then put it into 2 separate areas. And then you're gonna be using a jigsaw to cut through there because you have to cut right into the middle of the board. Go slow when cutting these openings. The faster you go, it has a tendency to make the wood kind of spring up and create splinters. So when you're going slower, especially around the corners, it's okay if the edges are rounded. You're just going to be putting hardwire cloth over top. Now that we have the box itself built with all of the internal parts, we're going to attach the top of the box. And you don't get to see it here, but we actually installed it the wrong way, so it couldn't open up. So here I am. I'm going to open up this box. Whee! All we have to do is install the hardware cloth, and we're all set to go. All right, my Broody box is complete. Now, I fashioned chicken wire on the front of mine for right now because my Broody box is actually going to go inside my coop, so there's no need to have hardwire cloth. If you are going to have this as an outside piece to your flock, you will want to make sure you have hardwire cloth against there so that no predators can get inside. But I'm sure you can see Nebula is in here and she is getting used to her new environment. So if I open this up, she might try to fly out, but she does have eggs in there, and she's kind of getting used to her place right now. So I'm going to wait, give her a little time to get used to her space, and if I need to, I'm going to use those accordion doors to shut her in so that she has to stay on her eggs, because today is hatch day for Nebula, so it's important that she sits on them. So we'll give her a few minutes. But the cool thing about this Broody box is that you can change the design to meet what you need. So stay tuned for Jess's video about how to make this box into something for your quail.